Welcome back to the ink between the lines. Tonight, we wander into the quiet ache of absence. The way some people vanish without warning, without a word, without the decency of an ending. There are departures that echo louder than arrivals, and silences that weigh more than words. This story is for those who never got their goodbye, and for those who didn't know how to give one. He stands by the door the night she leaves, not in body, but in memory. One day, she is there, and the next, her presence becomes a habit the air hasn't yet forgotten. Her mug still sits on the counter. A hair tie waits on the desk. A playlist pauses mid-song, as if holding its breath. Nothing breaks. No slammed doors, no sharp words, just absence. And that, perhaps, is the cruelest kind of ending. The one that dissolves quietly, like mist fading before dawn. He replays the last moment again and again, searching for a sign he missed. A hesitation in her smile, a softness in her tone. But there is nothing. Only an ordinary day that decided silently to be the last. And somehow that stillness cuts deeper than anger ever could. When someone leaves without a goodbye, they don't just take themselves, they take the ending with them. You are left mid-sentence, holding the pen, unsure whether to finish the story or to set it down. Days pass, weeks blur. The mind becomes an archaeologist, sifting through texts, memories, laughter, searching for meaning in ruins. But there is nothing to uncover, because sometimes there was never an answer to begin with. Psychologists say the human mind hungers for closure. It needs a clean edge to the story, a final line to rest upon. But life rarely closes its chapters neatly. Some people leave not out of cruelty, but out of incapacity. Goodbyes require a language they never learned. For some, silence becomes a kind of mercy. For others, it is the only way they know how to protect themselves. When someone leaves without a goodbye, it often says less about you and more about the weight they couldn't carry. It speaks of fear unspoken, of guilt unnamed, of vulnerability too heavy to hold. Yet the wound remains, because the mind cannot archive what never truly ended. It circles, hums, repeats, whispering words that never reach a destination. There's a name for this kind of pain. Psychologists call it ambiguous loss. It's the grief that comes when something or someone disappears without resolution. The mind doesn't know where to place it, so it keeps returning, replaying, searching. Unlike death, there's no ritual, no final moment to mark the end. The person is gone, yet their presence lingers, suspended somewhere between memory and imagination. The brain, wired to seek completion, tries to fill in the blanks. It creates stories, reasons, quiet justifications, anything that makes the absence bearable. It's a survival mechanism, not a flaw, an attempt to give shape to the shapeless. Because unfinished endings leave the mind without anchor, forcing it to drift in what-ifs and almosts. Closure, perhaps, is not something given to us. It is something we write ourselves, quietly, painfully, in the hush that follows absence. It begins when we stop asking why they left and start noticing how we still remain. When we learn that understanding is not always possible and peace does not always need an answer. Over time, the ache changes shape. It softens. It stops demanding explanation. The silence becomes less of a wound and more of a landscape, vast, calm, familiar. Healing isn't about forgetting. It's about integrating the absence into the story, allowing it to exist without demanding to be fixed. The psychologists say the mind craves meaning, but sometimes the only meaning left is endurance, to keep breathing in the space where something once was, to let memory settle without fighting it, to let silence become its own kind of language. And maybe that is enough, to accept that some stories don't close. They fade, and in their fading, they teach us how to live with what's unfinished, to hold stillness like a form of grace, to understand that even in absence, we are still whole. He no longer checks the message that will never arrive. The mug stays empty. The playlist remains unfinished. But the ache softens like fabric worn thin by time. One morning, he realizes her absence has become its own kind of presence. A reminder that not all endings are spoken. Some simply drift away, like tides that forget to return. If someone left you without a goodbye, maybe they were never meant to finish your story, only to remind you how deeply you could feel. Some departures are gentle teachers. They teach us how to stand inside silence without breaking. So tonight, if you're still holding onto a door that never closed, let it remain slightly open. Let the air move through. Let time breathed where words could not. Because healing doesn't always come with sound. Sometimes it arrives quietly, in the way the light falls softer, in the way you finally stop waiting. Some silences are not endings, but beginnings disguised as stillness. This was The Ink Between the Lines. Thank you for listening. If this story touched something unspoken within you, stay. Next time, we'll explore another quiet truth hidden between thought and memory. Until then, be kind to your silences. They are still trying to heal you.